Shalom. Let's start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to those for let this pushing is truth. Across the four corners of earth, all faith, truth, and sincerity. All right, I'm gonna want to buy back again with us sitting. I'm just gonna go into this article I ran into. It's by DNA about World War III. So, we, in the times of, of war, there's been like rumors of wars of this and that, going back and forth, Russia going back and forth with America and China going back and forth. America and China going, Russia going back and forth for Ukraine but now you got the situation where Russia got hit with Ukraine with a missile, and now they're saying Russia's eventually going to retaliate soon. So we in the midst of it. World War III is not just going to be just not just missiles, being shot here and there. Ultimately the thermonuclear missiles will destroy America, Babylon Great, but before that, World War III, is going to be cyber warfare. World War III is going to consist of, we're going to have robots involved, drones and so forth, which I'm getting into that. So World War III, we're going to have all our hell break loose, in the streets of America, Babylon the Great, and things going to get crazy, right? So World War III is basically it's the end all to be all. Like, it's the, it's everything, what I'm saying, is, it's the end all to be all in this, of this current system set up of the so-called white man Esau Edomite system world, So, these are the times that we're in right now. I'll say that, So, as we go forward, it's gonna get worse, man. Things are happening now. Got people out here losing it. You got different incidents going on, terrorist attacks, as they call it, terrorism attacks, or what do you want to call it? That's happening, and something happened in Colorado. Just happened in Colorado. Something just happened in Paris. Like, people going crazy in Paris. Trying to see what else happened. Shootings are happening, especially at these at these events that's going on with people at these large gatherings. And that's one thing too. People that are at these large gatherings of parties, events. It's not a good time to be doing that right now, because, like I said, people are losing it, and hey, you are vulnerable to get attacked, and something go down. Saying these times. So, but hey, people are not. They don't. Especially Jake, so-called Negro Latinos, they still in that partying bullshit mindset, not knowing the times that we're in is serious. It's gonna get way worse. Of people, it's gonna be more things to happen that's gonna take a lot of people by, surprised that, hey, they never thought this could happen. But it's so, like, we in those times. So I'm getting to it. So this the article for DNA. Is World War III coming? After Baba Vega, these young psychics predict chaos troubles in 2025. This is not. So, you had these psychics, that saw these things happening, when it was alive. Some are still alive that, are, having these, visions or seeing things happen, But before these, different people, was having these visions or seeing these things happen. You had the prophets, back then, seeing these things happening, way back before these psychics and so forth, seeing these things, and other people having visions in these times. But you had the prophets back then that wrote these things down, even though like the vocabulary was different back then, what they were seeing, like, you had the prophets back then seeing missiles. I mean, excuse me, not missiles. Excuse me. They were seeing arrows being shot. They couldn't really say missiles back then, so they put arrows. It seemed like it's a fire arrow. Being shot. So, but in these times, in this time, in modern day time, understanding of language, you know, those arrows in the scriptures is talking about missiles in these times, right? So the thermonuclear missiles, right? That's gonna be shot, towards America, Babylon Great, and other countries are gonna get hit. Russia's gonna get hit, but not the whole earth is not gonna be destroyed. But these are the times that we in. So, but I'm gonna read some of these. I'm gonna read some of this article. Then I'll get the scriptures to back this up. But 2025 will be the year of chaos, wars, and other global troubles. The world's most renowned psychics have predicted. Excuse me. The psychics have predicted catastrophic events in 2025. These are Baba Vega, Nostradamus. Excuse me, I'm saying this wrong. I think it's Athos Solomon, not Solomon, Solomon, something like that, and Nicholas Ajulia. They have also predicted about a third world war. So, like I said before, these psychics and these people that I just read their names, and everybody know about Nostradamus, should know about his predictions and all that. But before then, like I said, you had the prophets. Already, they saw this happening way before, right? So we just in these times now of it coming, it's coming to manifest and pass, right? The apostles and elders of Burberry Millstone, the men of the Lord that had the truth for the word of the Lord Yahweh Shai, have been prophesying down for America for years. Centuries and years, centuries, decades. So decades, and in so many years. So, decades. Excuse me. So it's been like many decades, years that the prophets, the men of the Lord, the apostles and elders, been teaching prophesying the downfall of America, Babylon the Great in these times, right? In these times, back then and even now still, right? Because the true men of the Lord that had the wisdom of the Lord Yahweh Shai, they're gonna continue to keep on prophesying down for America till it happens, right? Till it comes to full bloom and manifest, and it's gonna come upon a time that the Lord Yahweh Shai gonna close the prophets' mouths, because it's done. Like everything is happening, right? So it's gonna get chaotic out here. It's gonna be done. Enough is enough, right? But we in those times. But I'm gonna read some more of this article. Let's see. It says 2025 would be the year of chaos, wars, and other global troubles. The world's most renowned psychics have predicted catastrophic events in 2025. These are Baba Vega, Nostradamus, Athos Solomon, and Nicholas Aljulia. Psychics prediction of 2025. Psychics prediction of 2025 is based on only chaos troubles in this year. Baba Vega prediction catastrophic earthquakes. Predicted catastrophic earthquakes as a result of climate change, and a war in Europe, signaling the beginning of humanity's downfall. Downfall of the so-called white man, Esau Edomite's world, right? Similar to Baba Vega, Nostradamus also foresaw an inhumane war with the UK as participants in his book, Let's Prophecies. With intern and external threats. The most shocking is the return uh of a CV like pandemic. Um, I can't really say the word, but I don't think I can. I know it's YouTube, but I'm just gonna say CV. But it's you read it. Um, so you got the situation with that. Now they saying that something is another like CV 19 is like spreading now, and they're saying that people are getting sick, and they're saying it could be worse. But we'll see. But there's been that's going around now. So could be another lockdown. If so, there's no point of return because if it do be another lockdown, it's over with. It's like done. Ain't no going back to normal if it goes back to that. But I'm just gonna read some more of this. Psychic's prediction of 2025. The prediction of the prediction of a pandemic similar to the CV has come true as the world, including India, has been witnessing fresh cases of C19 virus. Athos Solomon and Nicholas Ajulia have also talked of similar matters regarding major up upheaval, major upheaval. Hope I'm saying it right. Upheaval, something like that. These prophecies signal one of the worst times in history of human mankind have given rise to fears, which has sparked deep discussions about what lies ahead in the year 2025. All right. Let's see. Some read some of it. It says that and you had the New York Post report said that 38-year-old Brazilian psychic Athos Salome, I think I'm saying Salome, who is famous as living Nostradamus for his apt prediction of Queen Elizabeth's death, has made a shocking prediction of the World War III is near our time and that the worst is yet to come. What is more concerning is that this war will be more destructive, as we will include modern warfare tactics, devices like technology, AI, and cyber means. So, like I was saying earlier, this World War III is not just going to be just about the thermal missiles being shot. Yes, that is part of it. And that's like, going to be like the icing on the cake, or, the finale of America, being completely just destroyed. When those missiles begin to be shot towards America, Babylon the Great. But before that, you're going to have cyber warfare, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have, cyber warfare, cyber attacks. You know what I'm saying? AI robots. You're going to have robo dogs, you know what I'm saying? Going on, you robots going to be, in it. So it's gonna be wild. You know what I'm saying? World War III is gonna be just everything's gonna be involved. You know what I'm saying? So it's just not gonna be about the thermal missiles. Like I said, there's the important part of it, and that's like the climax of of the end of those missiles being shot towards America, Babylon the Great, and what I'm saying, other countries. But before that, like I say, you're gonna have cyber attacks of the grid, the power will go out, things happening, right? So, you know, um, he has some of that going on this year. Somewhat, a little bit of cyber attacks going on here and there with the bank. They was kind of messing with the powers, and I think I don't know what state that was. No, it was another. It was a country that it was a blackout in a country. I forgot what country that was at one point. I think it was and I can't remember, but it's one of those countries that had a blackout, but the power came back on. But like I say, we in those times, read again. This is just not, excuse me, this is not just a war of men, but of machines. And in this aspect, what comes next mourned its Salome. So it said read the rest of this. A third in this category is London-based hypnotherapist. If I yeah, hypnotherapist therapist Nicholas Ajulia. Also, 38-year-old, according to whom war could be happening as early as by the middle of this year, which he believes will be due to the lack of compassion in the world. So the scriptures go to it's a scripture going to that about it's gonna be the love of many shall wax cold, and you seen that people not giving a damn, people not really not giving a damn about nothing at this point. You know what I'm saying? Because how things going, high price of food, not having access to can't jobs, no jobs hiring for real, the layoffs, the people getting fired, or what I'm saying, store closings, and it's gonna get way worse, man. So it's gonna be a lack of people, like I said, like I said, it's lack of compassion. You know what I'm saying? No, love men waxing cold. You're gonna have family members, friends not you know reaching out like they used to, or having sympathy. You know what I'm saying? Reaching out where it may be. Showing love basically in these times, because the scripture going to it's a time for everything, right? It's a time, the love is a time to hate. It's a time. It's a time for peace, and then a time for war. You know, so we're in a time of war, in a time of hate. We're not in a time of love and embracing right now. So that's how serious the times that we're in right now. Only real peace that's gonna come is when the Lord Yahweh returns. Saying completely just wipe out America, Babylon the Great, be destroyed. And the real peace gonna be in the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? The kingdom for the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Israelites. For the Israelites. And the other nations gonna be servitude unto the Israelites. But that's what it is. That's gonna be the real peace. But right now we ain't not in those times. But yeah. So that's it on that. So I'm gonna go to some of this about World War Three. Say World War excuse me. This is an article from the Daily Star. Well, WW3 could be fought between AI robots as China takes on U.S., but it's not all bad. So it's exclusive. It says if World War III should break out, we're less likely to be in the trenches, but rather watching as an army of AI-powered drones circle overhead, and experts have claimed. So, like I said, it's gonna be like drones involved. Gonna have robots. They could just pull up and what I'm saying. Somebody controlling it, whatever, and hit the button and shoot you down, and and like that. Yeah. So, let me see if some of this article. What do I mean? This article is good. Let me see. I'm gonna read some of this. I'm not gonna read all of this. I'm sorry. So I'm just kind of, trying to. Okay. So it said last month, Brits bricks were even how you said were even told to prepare a 72-hour survival kit over fears made Vlad is planning to attack the country's most important gas pipeline, just like they did Germany's Nord Stream in 2022. With a sharp rise in technology, aimless devoteling with global attention, some experts think most of the fighting, if it breaks out, will be done by AI-powered robots. Speaking to this publication, AI expert and founder of SEO company Edgeheads Jessica Redmond suggested we would see a war fought between AI robots. She added some of the superpowers, China and the U.S., they already use drones for warfare. We already see pilots sitting in their homes, controlling drones, fighting wars in countries hundreds of thousand miles away. So, like I said, it's not gonna be like back in the days where they on ground, troops on the ground. Like, nah, they're gonna use drones and stuff like that to come about to use what they got to fight. So I say we know it's times, right? So yes, we obviously wars where it's robots fighting each other and drones fighting each other. That's an inevitability. See. See. So yeah, that's about it on that. So I'm gonna get the scriptures to back this up. I didn't want to make this too long. So it's Revelation 11:14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So yeah, the second war has passed. So the second World War already happened, right? You're going to see history. You already know what happened with that, right? Look it up, go into it. And behold, the third war coming quickly. So the third World War, which is, we're in the midst of it, somewhat, it's going to be going down, eventually, it's going to get real, it's going to amp up to a we in it, things going to be happening, what I'm saying, World War Three, it's going to, it's going to be happening, it's somewhat of it, it's, but not fully. So when it fully goes about, hey, we in it, things going to start happening. So, you'll know that we in World War Three, but we definitely approaching, like I said, quickly is approaching, and it's not going to slow down. We're going to be right in it. I say all hell gonna break loose, chaos, and race wars, right? That's part of it. That's race wars. You can say nation against nation. Scripture go into that. So it's you're gonna have Jakes, so-called Negro, Latino natives, Israelites going against these going at Edomites, so-called white people, red people, and it's gonna be chaotic in these streets, in these times, going forward. So we in it, man. Really we in it. But going to this verse. But like I say, I'm saying, like I say, that MOTB, the mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, that's got to come to pass to be made mandatory, to buy and sell, so that got to come about before eventually, it fully comes to a full end, so once that comes about, which is that's approaching. That's approaching quickly. Because like I said, you got the banks, and banks are closing, and the financial downfall of the dollar, the U.S. dollars, is going down. So just a matter of time for this made mandatory. The RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. So yeah, hey, we in those times, man. We in those times. So I'll go from there to Isaiah 9 and 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So what's that talking about, man? It's talking about World War III. You know. So like I say, ain't gonna be like back in the day, back in the times of foot soldiers on the ground, like, and going at it, And it's just gonna be, like I said, by the thermonuclear missiles, which is going to Isaiah 9 and 5. But like I said, World War III gonna be by, by drones and AI technology, robots, and cyber warfare. So, World War III, it's not just gonna be just all about the missiles, but it's about the missiles, but not all about it. So like I said, we in those times. But so I'll go from there to this is 2nd Ezra 16:13. For strong is his right hand to bend of the bow. His arrows he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot to the ends of the world. So like I was saying earlier, the prophets back then, they saw this way, way back, before these other psychics, whatever, they, seeing these things and, telling people about it in these times. But, or back then, some, centuries, whatever. But the prophets, the men of the Lord, they seen these things happen way, way back, way, way back. So like I say arrows, but the arrows going in these times, the modern day word is talking about the thermonuclear missiles, right? So that's what they're talking about there. And they're not gonna miss, The Lord Yahweh, he gonna make good on his word. It's gonna happen. They're not gonna miss. They ain't gonna miss their mark. Scripture going to that, but I ain't finna make this too long. But these missiles, these thermonuclear missiles, not gonna miss their mark, man. They're gonna hit their target. Everything here in America, Babylon, excuse me. Everything here in America, Babylon Great, gonna be destroyed, completely destroyed. And that's why I say it's shot to the ends of the world. What's the ends of the world? America, Babylon the Great. So, and it's gonna be 200 million missiles that's gonna be shot towards America, Babylon the Great. That's in Revelation. But I say I ain't gonna make this too long. Matter of fact, I get it. So I don't wanna. Let's see. Yeah, I'm spelling wrong. It's not 2000. Matter of fact, type it in again. Take a spit like that. It's in my head. Yeah, there you go. Revelation 9:16. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. I heard the number of them. So yeah, 200 million missiles gonna be shot towards America, Babylon Great. Just want to get that real quick. So those missiles not gonna be shot. The missiles not gonna be missed. None of those it's gonna hit everything, and everything America, Babylon the Great gonna be destroyed. Gonna be burning up, man. That's gonna that's gonna be what that fire, man, that second death. That's gonna come about. Cause like I said, the first one was by way of water. That's how the first, how the first world got destroyed. Most High, everybody, with Noah, he warned, and even like Noah was warning them back then, and Most High putting in Noah, in spirit to, build that boat, get that boat going. Tell you warn these people that I'm finna destroy. Destroy this world, bring this death and destruction upon them. They keep doing what they doing. doing all the sinning and everything that we're doing, right? And just like these times, these people out here sinning, doing all this wicked stuff out here that the Lord Yahweh hates, doing all this wickedness out here. Hey, the prophets in Ellsberg, where Mr. Storm Lord had the truth, are constantly warning the people and telling them, hey, Lord Yahweh finna bring death and destruction to America, Babylon the Great, He's gonna destroy it by by fire, by way of thermonuclear missiles and the chariots, so-called UFOs. So that's what's coming, Eventually, it's gonna happen. But I'll go from there to let me see. Did not want to make this long. So I'm gonna end off with this. I'm gonna make so second Ezra 16:37. Behold, the players are drawing nigh and are not slack. So these players are having things are happening. According to the scriptures, the word of the Lord, the prophecies are happening and they're not slacking, right? Second Ezra 16:38. As when a woman with child in the ninth month began, as a woman with child in the ninth month bring forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains could pass a womb, which pains, when the child come forth, they slack not a moment. So just like a woman having a baby, the baby coming, it can't go, can't push that, it can't keep that baby from coming. It's gonna happen, right? So these prophecies gonna happen. These prophecies are gotta happen. It's not gonna slack. And the word of the Lord Yahweh he not a man they should lie. I said the days are going by fast. The scripture, the days shall speed up. And you're gonna know the signs of the times. If you are, in the spirit of Lord Yahweh, that hey, we in those times and not the time to be, in the spirit of having fun, the spirit of it really should be in the mournful spirit in a way like, hey, it's finna be a lot of people out here dying, man. People that and friends, family, whoever it may be, if they are now that number, they don't have the hedge of protection by Lord Yahweh. They don't have mercy by Lord Yahweh to be delivered, or like say, they dying in this faith and truth and believing Lord Yahweh, they won't get risen up, just having that, being the number, just being of that number, because not everybody's gonna die. The scripture said that, you're gonna have those excuse me. You're gonna have those that are not gonna taste of death. And that's the elect, the elect, those that remain, that Lord Yahweh is gonna, have that hedge of protection on, like saying, until you return and they be delivered, and with those that, died in faith and get risen up with them, be risen up with them. So next verse, 2 Ezra 16:39. And even so shall not the players be slack to come upon earth. Read that again. Even so shall not the players be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. So yeah, everyone gonna feel it, man. They're gonna feel the wrath and judgment, Lord Yahweh, in these times. It's gonna get chaotic. Hey, all boils down to if you're the elect. If you are not of the elect of the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, Israelite, if you're not of that 144,000, that 1/3 number, that number to be delivered, have mercy by Lord Yahweh Shai. In these times, you're not gonna be delivered. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully, I'm part of the righteous number. So that's all it boils down to, man. So, I can say, me myself, and those that believe those that believe in Lord Yahweh Shai, keep the faith, keep praying fast to Lord Yahweh Shai for mercy, man. In these times, and just it gotta happen, right? It can't avoid it. So it's all boils down to Lord Yahweh Shai gonna have mercy on you in these times. The Lord Yahweh Shai gonna have mercy on you in these times, man. So that goes for me. So again, I like our present glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahshua, by Hashem, Kakadash, to the apostles, elders, to the sisters and brothers, to the few Aquaf sisters that do listen, keep the faith. And Yahweh Shai, keep fighting us at Shalom.